Diana Spencer, Princess of Wales, died on the 31st of August 1997, aged just 36. What saddened people more than anything was the suspicious circumstances surrounding her death, and rumours of murder and betrayal. This caused mass hysteria, but to this day, we still don't fully understand what happened that night on and off the streets of Paris. There have been many theories as to the reason for her death. Many suggest corruption inside the royal family and MI5. But what actually happened on that night? Well, here's some of the weirdest facts and hidden evidence surrounding Diana's death. The car Diana was in at the time of the crash, a black Mercedes S280, was the only available car that night. But the car had previously been stolen, and only recently found by the rental company who owned the car. When it was recovered, the only thing missing from the car was an onboard computer chip. This chip controlled the car's navigation, acceleration, steering and braking. Some believe the original computer chip was replaced with a doctored one that allowed remote control of the vehicle, which would easily allow for a staged crash. Depending on which report you read, the ambulance took between 1 hour and 15 minutes and 1 hour and 40 minutes to get to the hospital in the middle of the night. However, the journey should only take 11 minutes. In rush hour, Mercedes point blankly refused to inspect the wreckage. Many believe because an experienced Mercedes engineer would immediately be able to detect that the car had been tampered with. Journalists were told outright not to interview anyone who mentioned murder. Although the general consensus amongst the public alluded to murder, the media never mentioned it. Just a few months before her death, Diana criticised the royal family on the BBC's Panorama programme. Diana predicted her own death. She had given her butler and lawyer handwritten notes for safekeeping. The note explained that Prince Charles was planning a car accident to kill her. The letter reads, "I am sitting at my desk today, longing for someone to hug me and encourage me to keep strong and hold my head high. This particular phase in my life is the most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, or some serious head injury, in order to make the path clear for him to marry Tiggy. Camilla is nothing more than a decoy, so we are being used by the man in every sense of the word." The ambulance driver was ordered by the onboard doctor to stop and park outside Paris's Natural History Museum because Diana was in a critical condition. However, the hospital entrance was in plain view of the parked ambulance, but no one rushed over to help. It would have only taken the ambulance another 30 seconds to drive to the hospital. Some believe it was in the ambulance journey that her injuries were purposely made worse to ensure her death. Against all French laws, immediately a team of embalmers illegally embalmed Diana's body whilst it was still warm. This made any post-mortem examinations extremely difficult to perform. Therefore, doctors were unable to find out if there had been any tampering with her body during the ambulance journey. At the same time as the embalming, the tunnel was washed down and opened for public use in just a couple of hours. The driver, Henri Paul, who died in the car crash, was accused of consuming quote-unquote grossly excessive quantities of alcohol, and that his reckless driving whilst under the influence of alcohol caused the crash. Although almost every person who talked to Henri Paul that night has said that he did not appear intoxicated before the crash. Blood samples apparently taken from Henri Paul after the crash showed that he was hopelessly drunk. But was it really his blood? Interestingly, the blood contained a medicine called albendazole, which Henri's doctor said he was never prescribed. But even more bizarrely, the same batch of blood samples contained no trace of another medicine called acamprostate, which Henri Paul had been prescribed. The intention of this video is not to point fingers. I'm only presenting the evidence as it has been reported. I'll leave it to you to form your own opinion. Thanks for watching, until next time.